Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Wednesday the 29th of June 2022. In today's Millwall news, the mists are clearing. We are finding out bits of information day by day. And today we found out that we are not going to be signing Lewis Ferguson from Aberdeen. Millwall end interest in Scotland International. This is from news@den.co.uk. Millwall have ended their interest in Aberdeen midfielder Lewis Ferguson. The Lions made multiple bids across the summer, and the deal had been agreed in principle with the Scottish Premiership side. Really? Didn't hear that. I thought I didn't hear that the bid was accepted. But Newsagent has been told that the Lions have moved on from Ferguson to other targets. Scotland international Ferguson has interest from Serie A and appears to be keen to explore those options. So they're saying Aberdeen accepted our bid, but the player didn't want to come to Millwall. I thought everyone said that the bid was laughable. Now this kicked off before we signed all Zion Fleming, Benik Afobe, and George Honeyman. So this bid, when it came out, had everyone rolling their eyes because we bid apparently 2 million for a player that had offers of 3 million rejected in the summer before. So it was typical, like, Millwall underbidding, and we were all rolling our eyes saying, oh, here we go, fucking Millwall making shit bids again, like, just to like make it look like they're doing something. Or little did we know what was about to come. But so everyone was kind of laughing and mocking the bid. I didn't see that anywhere that the bid had been accepted by Aberdeen. Apparently they are holding out for 4 million, so that's news to me. But apparently, according to News at Den, a deal had been agreed, but the lad himself is not interested in coming to Millwall. So what can you do? Apparently he wants to go to Serie A. Was it Calgary? We're looking at him, but apparently they got relegated from Serie A, so now in Serie B. So I don't know what that's about, but there you have it. And I imagine we don't have money anymore because we spent it on Zion Fleming. So done and dusted. Yeah. See you later, mate. See you later, buddy. Good luck with your career. Another player who won't be coming to Millwall is Mr. Oliver Burke. Oliver Burke, former loanee from Millwall last season. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall loanee Oliver Burke heads back to Deutschland as Werder Bremen move for out-of-favour Blades attacker. Yes, Oliver Burke, who spent the second half of last season on loan at Millwall, has agreed to join Werder Bremen. The Lions were working on a deal for the Sheffield United attacker at the end of last week, but the Bundesliga outfit announced on social media earlier today that they had agreed terms to sign Burke, subject to the final formalities. They added that Burke was set to travel with them on Thursday to their training camp in Austria. It will be the 25-year-old's second spell with a German club. He first saw him leave Boris for RB Leipzig for £13 million in 2016, a new transfer record for a Scottish player. But a year later, Burke was back in England with West Bromwich Albion, newly promoted to the Premier League at the time. Millwall still have a number of offensive targets they are working on. They broke their club transfer record with a 1.7 million signing with Zion Fleming from Fortuna Sittard last weekend, with Benik Afobe, a loan hit from Stoke City in the 21-22 campaign, arriving on a 12-month contract. So they're still trying to sign some players. Still. And attacking ones at that. Good stuff. But Oliver Burke will not be one of them. He has gone off to Bundesliga side Werder Bremen, who are newly promoted to the Bundesliga. They were in Bundesliga 2, German Boogaloo, last season, and they got promoted. So there you go. We can cross them off our list. It's not no Lewis Ferguson and no Oliver Burke to Millwall this season. Moving on to some more news, which probably might infuriate you a little bit. You might be a bit upset about this. Well, what is it? So this is from millwallfc.co.uk. Mill to play Crystal Palace in a friendly. behind closed doors. Now that's the bit that might upset you, the behind closed doors bit. So Millwall will travel to Crystal Palace for a pre-season friendly on Saturday the 9th of July. The fixture is to be played behind closed doors at the Eagles training complex. The match further adds to the Lions pre-season fixture list, in which games against Dartford, Colchester United and Ipswich Town are already confirmed. The club will be streaming the London derby and will update supporters with regards to accessing video coverage in due course. Yes, because we're still waiting for that. We have recast, they're doing videos. They have done live broadcasts before with under 23 games. But apparently, reading stories on this website, Millwall's official website, they're looking to launch a proper Mill TV app. So, all eyes on that. When's that coming out? That's going to be replacing iFollow, which will stop working. It's probably stopped working already. What are we at? So it's the end of June, beginning of July. I think that stops working. And you'll have to get all your video content from Millwall TV from Millwall FC. So this is kind of a weird one because Gary literally just said the other day, with pre-season games you want to work your way up, and he said you want to work your way up, and at the end you want to play a Premier League team or equivalent. Well, we didn't. Ipswich Town certainly not a Premier League team or equivalent, and now our last game. Our last friendly before the start of the season. But Crystal Palace are a Premier League team, and we are playing them in our first game now. Because this is going to be before the Dartford game. This is 2 Saturdays time, Saturday week. Saturday the 9th of July, and the Dartford game is on the 12th. So that is going to be interesting. But notice now, they say they're going to stream it, but they don't give you the time. Now, why don't they give you the time? I have no idea. Surely you want to know when it's going to be on so you can plan your day around watching it. If you want, maybe it might be just something that you incidentally watch if you're available at the time, if you've got nothing else to do. So, if we head over to Crystal Palace's website, they have a bit more information. They have the story here. And if we scroll back down, the following the weekend, the Eagles will take on Millwall at the Academy. Saturday the 9th of July, 1 PM kickoff. So it is going to be a 1 PM kickoff. Now, obviously, that might change. It's a pre-season game at a training ground. They can literally, it's not nothing official. I imagine they will have employ some proper referees and stuff, but apart from that, it's all loosey-goosey, but they're aiming for a 1 PM kickoff, so there you have it. And Crystal Palace are broadcasting it on their own app, so hopefully what are we gonna get? Are we gonna get the Palace feed just put on Mill's thing? Are we gonna get a preview of what Mill are going to be doing in terms of iFollow games? Are we going to have Carl Bates back? Is he still working for Millwall now? How does that work? Is he working for Millwall? Is he working for iFollow? Is he going to switch to another club now? I don't know. What is happening? It's all very much wait and see. But so here we have another date for your diary. Saturday 9th of July, 1 o'clock. Millwall at Crystal Palace training ground, live on the app, some app, recast maybe, I don't know, but you will be able to watch the game, but only on the television because of reasons, Crystal Palace fans getting a bit upset recently. I'm not upset, they're getting a bit boisterous now. They call themselves ultras. They marched around London Bridge wearing black on the way to, were they in a cup semi-final or something? Yeah, just being general weirdos, or autistic weirdos. Yeah, so throwing flares when we played them in the FA Cup, stuff like that, sort of trying to imitate what they think a fanatic football fan is. and just being a little bit divvy about it. So we can't have good things anymore. We can't have a Millwall Crystal Palace friendly anymore because the Crystal Palace fans have ruined it. But there you have it. So moving on now to this, which is probably a bit of a joke, if I'm honest. Footballleagueworld.co.uk. So they are talking about Millwall player leaving. Exclusive. QPR eyeing up Millwall transfer raid for 23-year-old. How? Do they have any money? Pretty sure they were they literally struggling against massive debt that they run up. Queen's Park Rangers are plotting to raid their championship and London rivals Millwall for right back Danny McNamara. Sources have exclusively formed Football League World. So this is coming from this website itself. Someone has told them that this is happening. So bear that in mind. The Hoops have ushered in a new era at Loftus Road this summer with Michael Beale replacing Mark Warburton in the dugout ahead of the 22-23 season. And he's looking to add to his options on the right hand side of the pitch by eyeing up McNamara, who made quite an impact at the Den last season. Having spent years out on loan in non-league, League 2 and Scottish Premiership, McNamara was handed his Lions debut by Garrett in January 2021 and has since 53 times since in the Championship. 37 of those come in the 21-22 campaign. Utilised as a wing-back by Rowett, McNamara also scored twice last season in the second tier as he became first choice in his position, and he has no immediate challenges in the Millwall squad for the role. The Isles, though, are keen on trying to acquire him this summer, although it could prove a tough task due to his importance in Rowett's plans. This is just bullshit. Now, there are a number of things that where this could have come from. Now, let's say someone heard before that QPR were interested in Millwall's right back. So then someone hears that and think, oh, okay, and then they write up the story, and but what they don't realise, they were probably interested in Marlon Romeo, Millwall right back, as he was at the time, and we knew he was going to be leaving, so it would make sense that they were interested in him because he was available. So maybe they got it wrong by picking the wrong person. They just heard right back, and then they've looked and think, well, the right back at Millwall is McNamara, so maybe it's him. Here's another thing. If we've only got one right back, we're looking for one ourselves. We're not going to let him go. And not only that, but in order to get him, unless McNamara unless McNamara's complaining about the wage that he's on, he wants a new contract, and he's already thinking about leaving, Millwall won't sell him. If they do, it's going to take a lot of money. You're looking at probably 4 million plus. Because why would you sell someone you don't want to sell? For money, extra money, that's above and beyond what you think he's worth and what it will take to get a replacement. Or two in this case, because we're already looking for one. And another thing that this could be is that someone's put this out there from QPR, because QPR are probably in negotiations with a right back or a right wing back, and they want to get this story to blow up, and they know, well, Millwall fans are quite busy on social media, they're quite active, they get stories out there, so they might have said that they're interested in him in order to kind of scare whoever it is they're trying to sign into maybe hurrying up and getting a deal done, because they've got other options. They're trying to make it look out like they've got other options, but surely if you were going to do that, you would pick another out of contract player or someone who's a bit easier to get, because looking at this you can see, well, yeah, this is not going to be happening. This really isn't going to be happening. Now, if it was a Premier League club saying it, I mean, even if it was someone like West Ham saying they were interested, you would think, well, that's a bit far-fetched, but it might happen, because I mean, Danny McNamara would probably want to play at the highest level. He wants to get in the Irish team, and one way of doing that would be to be a Premier League team. So you would think, even if someone like West Ham coming for him, you might consider it. But QPR, I mean, no, not really. And the thing as well that this is an exclusive. Now, maybe here's another thing that might be happening. This website knows that when they put Millwall in any story, it blows up bigger than their other stories. I don't know. Does this have a view count on it? No, it doesn't. But they would know by from the back door stat stuff which of their articles get viewed the most. They would have their numbers on that, and someone behind the scenes would say, "Fuck me, our top 10 stories are all about Millwall. Write more stuff about Millwall. Write more stuff about Millwall," because they need the clicks to get the money from the ads to keep going, make some money, pay the wages and whatnot, and other stuff. So no one else is reporting this. It's just from this website. They're exclusive. So they could have just made it up, put two and two together. They know that QPR are probably looking for a right back, and they just, well, maybe put Millwall's name in there to get some more views. So we don't know what's going on there, but this seems to be complete hogwash. Yeah, so we'll see about that. So we're going to move on now to this. So this popped up, and I thought, this is interesting. Let's have a little look at this. So a big thanks to Millwall FC for our new office space at the Den. Now just 137 years of history to organise. And it's the Millwall FC Museum. They've got seemingly a plaque. Weirdly, it's a silver one. Normally when you have these door plaques, aren't they usually like kind of brass and stuff? This is silver. In colour, I don't think it's actual silver. And it says Millwall FC Museum Office. And this is at the Den, apparently. So that's quite interesting. And if you don't know, the Millwall Museum exists, but it doesn't exist. They're trying to get something going. They're trying to collect stuff behind the scenes. They were asking for like items to be donated years ago. People like sent in their stuff that they didn't really want anymore, but they knew it was kind of like important. They didn't want to just throw it away. So like, what do you do with it? Well, you give it to the Millwall FC Museum, which at this moment seems to be like a couple of people's garages. All their stuff is in there, because there isn't an actual physical space for the museum. So everyone's like wondering, like, what happened to all that stuff that I donated? Like, what's happening with it? Well, now we know. There is an office here. They've got an office. Things are moving. So things are moving behind the scenes. So we might be getting Millwall FC Museum now. I just wanted to take the time to dive into what's happening. And this is from blogs.bbk.ac.uk. Okay, and it's about is this a blog that maps museums around the country? Trying to take every museum in the country and kind of identify it and put it on the list. And we'll get into this. So football museums. This is an article about football museums from the 31st of January 2018, so 4 years ago. And it says an area that initially passes by in the Mapping Museums project was the prevalence of sports museums, while we recorded the more obvious high-profile venues such as the MCC Museum and the National Football Museum. We were unaware of the increasing number of club museums. This growth has occurred across team sports such as rugby and cricket, but is particularly evident at football clubs. The development has not been prompted by clubs' newfound interest in preserving their heritage, because here's the thing, football clubs, they started over 100 years ago. They're getting on a bit now, and more history and more stuff's building up. Game's changing. Maybe you want to preserve some of the old stuff and things before they disappear altogether. But no, it's not that. It says, after all, there have always been trophy rooms to display cups and medals. Indeed, but in opening up those collections to the supporters and the wider public. So these kind of little trophy cabinets and stuff have always been like in the chairman's room, stuff like that. It says this seems to have begun with the introduction of stadium tours in the late 1990s, early 2000s as a part of the effort by the clubs to market themselves as venues for more than a couple of 90-minute matches each week. Indeed, in pumping up the revenue. Trying to make more money, if you've got a building there but you only use it once a week, it's an expensive building, what are you going to do with it? Put a hotel there like Chelsea have, do other stuff, put a museum there. People turn up anyway, turn up outside the ground, take a selfie, come inside, have a look at the museum. Even if you don't charge an entry fee for the museum, get them in there, get them in the museum shop, they'll buy something and they'll be on their way, and happy days. So as such, initiatives have taken off. Club museums have increasingly become attractions in their own right. Indeed, interesting club history can be gauged in part by the success of exhibitions hosted in local museums, of which there have been innumerable in recent years. Exhibitions like that at the Dorman Museum in 2012, which celebrated the 25th anniversary of the rebirth of Middlesbrough Football Club, are testament to the depth of local attachment to their teams, a feeling that clubs may well seek to tap into to develop a more expansive museum offer moving forwards. Furthermore, there is now greater awareness of the importance of the history across museum sector. The recent launch of Sport and Heritage, a project in what some ways similar to our work, which maps various sporting collections held in museums throughout the UK. Hopefully their work will act as a focal point to help the support and growth and development of these emerging sporting attractions. And below we've compiled our own list. So these are the museums in some part that exist already in the football sector, and this list was drawn up in January 2018, and there isn't a lot there, is there? There isn't a lot there. There's Arsenal Museum, Brighton Hove, Burnley, which is just a supporter run online museum, so just a supporter and just figured to do it, and I guess what they take pictures of stuff and put it online, and then you can just like browse it like a website, I guess. Celtic FC museum as part of the stadium tour. A Charlton have got a museum apparently. Don't know if that's still going. So Chelsea again, stadium tour and museum. Crystal Palace plans for a museum in forthcoming stadium redevelopment. Well, some club artifacts are on display in the Crystal Palace Museum, which I guess is about the actual Crystal Palace, the glass building that was there. But Hull, an online museum run by supporters again. Leeds, a museum is planned. Manchester City, small exhibition in the stadium tour. Man United again, stadium tour and museum. So all the big ones have the stadium tour and museum. The big Premier League teams. Liverpool FC. Again, Newcastle, small museum exhibition included in stadium tour. Even Sheffield United, Tottenham Hotspur. I guess this is going to be in their new stadium, which at the time was undergoing construction. I guess they have it now. No museum for Watford, but they have stuff in the Watford Museum. Presumably when they went to the FA Cup, did they win the FA Cup? I don't know, and I don't really care. West Ham United Club did have a museum in 2002 at their old ground, but current status unknown following recent stadium move. I imagine they binned it because they don't give a fuck. They threw history out when they knocked down Upton Park. And Wolves Museum established in 2014. So there you have it. Not a lot of teams there with museums, but the ones that do are quite big clubs. So you would think they deserve it. In terms of Millwall, I mean, we are, some have said, the biggest small club in the world. I mean, everybody knows who Millwall are. You only say that, got to say to people who you support, and you say Millwall, and then you can see their faces change, and they usually either say something or they don't say anything at all and just walk away. But indeed, now, if we were to have a Millwall Museum, it surely must include some of the fun and games off the pitch as well. Otherwise, could you really call it a Millwall Museum if it didn't? So like I said, football clubs are getting old now. Mill was established in 1885. We're quite old now, and the history has been building up, and it's got to the level where now it can be kind of codified and commodified, and something can be done about it. And I've told you about this before, but this is the History and Heritage Walking Tour. 25 years on the Isle of Dogs. The first 25 years of Millwall Football Club spent on the Isle of Dogs in the actual Docklands area. This guy's done, I think, 3 or 4 of these guided tours now, and there's another one coming up in September. But yeah, I've told you about these before. You start at West India Quay, then you walk around and at the various grounds that Millwall had on the Isle of Dogs. And you have a little pub tour as well and stuff like that. There's a photo there. There's the park, the George pub, the North Pole pub. I love a pub, didn't they? That one's pub's closed at the moment. There's a plaque on the floor there. There's something else there. I don't know what that is. I can't really read it. If you scroll down, there's the Lord Nelson. We did play in behind that. I think this is the plaque there that was on the floor. The Jam Factory that was on the island. The Millwall Rovers Football Club was founded on this site, but it works for Morton's Jam Factory. So there you have it. This is what the tour is. Walking around the Isle of Dogs on a weekend. It's not bad, and they have one coming up in September. As I said, tickets are 15 quid, and you can find it on eventbrite.co.uk if you're interested in it. So, but this is in September, it's still only June, so no rush. But I said, in terms of history and museums and stuff, yeah, it's just going to keep piling up, isn't it? Day by day, more and more things happen, more and more history is created. I mean, you look at things like was it Gary Alexander's goal at Wembley? That's history now. This is recent history, but things like that they just keep going and going and going, and it's not going to stop. So if you can find a way to create a museum, create exhibits, create walks and stuff, it is what it is, isn't it? It's something to look forward to. We're going to move on now. We're going to end with this. It's about the sponsors of the club. I'd like to give them a little shout out. So Grange Travel extend deal was Millwall's official transport partner. Grange Travel will continue as Millwall Football Club's official transport provider for the next 3 years. The executive coach operating company based in South East London became the Lions' official coach provider and facilitated all first team travel across the 21-22 campaign. Have now agreed a deal to extend that partnership until the end of the 24-25 season. After a successful first season working with the Millwall family, we at Grange Travel are delighted to strike up a long-term deal with the Lions, said Ruth Honey. We look forward to supporting them for the next 3 years as their official transport provider. It will be an honour to serve them for the upcoming season and beyond. We are delighted to extend our relationship with Grange, said Andrew Stead, Head of Partnerships and Hospitality at the Den. We look forward to working with Ruth and the team over the coming seasons, providing our players and supporters with first-class travel. And you can visit Grange Travel's website by clicking here, so let's do that. And there you go. For all your coaching needs and transport solutions, there you go. You know who to look to, and they're based in Gravesend. So yeah, maybe give them a thought if you're looking for that kind of thing. as they are working with Millwall, and that's good for Millwall. Another sponsorship we're going to talk about now is this one. Mason Scaffolding announced as Millwall's back off shirt sponsor. So probably, I don't know if it's just in time because the shirts are going on sale Friday the 1st apparently. Will they have them done in time? Will you get this on the back of the shirt? So Millwall Football Club is pleased to announce that Mason Scaffolding has become the Lions back shirt sponsor for the 22-23 campaign. The company's logo will adorn the home, away and third kit shirts across the course of the season. Aha! Did you see that there? We are getting a third kit. Good. I hope it's a little bit crazy like the recent third kits. I hope it's like something collectible, something that you would want to buy. As scaffolding specialists, Masons offer an unrivaled scaffolding service across London, South East and the home counties. With 25 years in the industry, Mason Scaffolding has set the benchmark for quality, excellence and safety in scaffolding. As a Millwall supporter, I'm delighted to sponsor the shirt, said Grant Mason. It's something I've always wanted to do. I didn't think I'll ever be able to do it, but it's a privilege and I'm proud to do it. To see your name on a shirt is every supporter's dream. I'm delighted to get behind the club in any way I can. I'm looking forward to a good season. Is this where we got the money from? This is where they got the money for all these signings, huh? Andrew Stead, Hospitality and Partnerships Manager, added, "We're delighted to be working with Grant and Mason Scaffolding. Grant has supported the club for a number of years now, and it's great to be able to have his logo on the back of the shirt for the upcoming season. I want to thank him for his support." Not only that, not only did they thank him, look at this, they flew him out to Dublin, or not Dublin, to Cork. And he's there with the players there. I wonder if they let him have a little kick around with him. Probably pass the ball and rings around him. But you can see there, look, the shirt Mason Scaffolding with the orange and purple. So will that be on the shirts that are on sale on Friday? Don't know. You would think so, or is that just on the first team shirts? Don't know. We don't know. But yeah. So there you have it. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.